Hello and welcome back, and in this video we're going to be talking about ZStack. So ZStack is a powerful and versatile container view in SwiftUI. This allows you to layer and stack multiple views on the top of each other. It's a fundamental layout tool that can be used to create complex user interfaces and dynamic visual effects. In essence, ZStack is a view that arranges its child views in a way that are visually represented as a stack. Now, the name ZStack comes from the idea that views are stacked on the top of each other on the z-axis, which is the axis that extends perpendicular out of the screen. And the views in the Z-stacks can be composed basically by any other SwiftUI view. So you can actually take text views, image views, shapes, and other containers like VStack and HStack and basically build your UI. This allows for a wide range of creative possibilities in designing interfaces, and these interfaces are not limited to specific patterns. So you can lay out it the way you want to. Now, one of the most important feature about ZStack is that it allows you to create visually rich and layered interface with ease, and you can control the order in which views appear on the top of each other. Now, changing of size, positions for each views, and applying visual effects, shadows, gradients, and blur is all possible with using the standard modifiers that you use everywhere else. And ZStack also offers a variety of alignment options that actually allows you to position your child views with a versatile manner and basically with the more flexibility. And that's why ZStack is an essential tool to create compelling and dynamic user interfaces in SwiftUI. Now, with that introduction, let's go ahead and start looking at ZStack with some examples. So we'll start by creating 10 cards that are stacked on the top of each other using a ZStack. So let's go ahead and create our example number 1. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna display 10 cards stacked on the top of each other, and we're gonna basically color those cards. So let's go ahead and create a variable to store these colors, and we're gonna use color.pink. And while creating an array, only the first element, actually you have to define it as color dot, and then rest of the array you can use the dot operator, basically defining all the other colors that you want to use. So I'm gonna basically start just picking these colors that come randomly in this list. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 6. And the last one, 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna first create our ZStack. Okay, and inside the trailing closure, which is a view builder type, we're gonna basically build our view. And in this case, we're gonna iterate over this colors array using for each, and then we're gonna basically draw rounded rectangles with a corner radius of 20 points. And we'll add some fill color, and fill color is going to be drawn from this color variable. We're going to also set a frame of 200 by 200 and going to give it give each rounded rectangle a shadow of 5 points radius. Okay. We got to make sure that each element is identified by self, and then we get the index inside the for each, which is when we're going to create our rounded rectangle with corner radius. And let's go ahead and give it a fill. or foreground style. We can choose either of those. Let's choose foreground style and see if we can actually use the colors at index, and we can set the gradient effect on it using the newly introduced gradient property on the color. Okay, and we're gonna set the frame with width of 200 and height of 200, and also set the shadow with the radius of 5 points. Okay, now when we have all of our stuff ready, let's go ahead and wait for, we can't wait for this guy to refresh because it's still pointing at the wrong example. So let's go ahead and put it on example 1, and as you can see that we have our 10 cards created. Now by default, ZStack aligns everything in its view at the center of the screen, which is why you're only seeing the topmost element or the topmost card in the stack. Okay, and but trust me, like, you know, all the other cards are there at the bottom, and you can see, like, you know, their shadow is kind of being dropped onto the lowest surface where, like, you know, the background is. Okay, but let's go ahead and don't take my word for it. Let's go ahead and set some offset so we can move the cards a little bit so you can see all of them, at least some part of them, like, you know, a little bit. So we can set offset, and we can use X and Y location, and we're gonna basically convert our index to CG float. And we're gonna say take the index and multiply it by 10.0, and we're gonna do the same thing for Y, and we're gonna say take CG float and basically pass the index. So convert index to CG float because the X and Y offset values are CG float type, and multiply 10 by 0 for that. So what we're gonna see is basically our view as soon as it actually behaves. Let's see, what are we missing here? Oh, we're missing the label X. So let me go ahead and put that, and there you have it. You have all your cards basically offset by a certain distance, and as you can see now that all those cards have been created and they've been laid out in a ZStack. So it's almost like, you know, the cards are basically popping out of the screen. Okay, so this is what ZStack does. All right, so ZStack, this is the basic, like, you know, the most basic way of creating ZStack, and you're gonna see us creating like this a whole bunch of times. But there are, like, you know, certain other properties that ZStack supports, for example, alignment. So in the next video, we're gonna talk about how to set the alignment property for ZStack. Okay, so I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.